I did have fun with that. I hope that everyone did watching it. Top 10 worst things about the end of the pandemic. Obviously, there's a lot of good things, mostly good things, but there were some bad things, and learned a little bit about Francesca from it. That is now available on the YouTube channel on the special playlist for Tier 2 and Tier 3 members. Hope that you enjoy it. Welcome, everyone. Today, pretty exciting day for a few different reasons. First of all, co-host coming up in like 45 minutes on the Damage Report. Anna Kasparian is back, and that is always just, it's just nice, you know? Just fun, do the show with her. And we've got some good news, got some pretty devastating stuff too. We've got some Republicans being complete jokes, and a lot of good stuff besides. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. The pre-show, it's a short little one. I've just got four-ish stories I want to talk about, and mostly it's let's check in on what's going on with some of the worst people in the country. Isn't that a fun thing to do? And the interesting thing is the huge amount of crossover in what these people are choosing to do. So we're gonna jump right in with one of these, and we're gonna be starting off with Kayleigh McEnany, and this is the latest in our continued coverage of what the hell is going to happen to one of the most prolific liars in America. Well, she was basically on Fox News. So she started off on CNN, then she goes into the White House. Then she's basically on Fox News even as she's working at the White House. Then, as Biden is about to be inaugurated, and remember, as in the run-up to that, they're all still saying, oh no, Trump is going to be president. She's talking to Fox about getting a job there. Like, no, he's totally not going to be president. I'm totally lying, but you should hire me. And then that leaks, and then they all have to be like, what? Her work here? No, man, we're not interested in that. And then, like, a month goes by, and they're like, oh, we're totally hiring her. And now we know for what. She's going to be the co-host of Outnumbered. That show where they have, let's see, it's going to be her, Harris Faulkner, and Emily Compagno. And they have some idiot dude on, and they just, it's just stupid. The thing is, you can't say that she's not qualified for it. I mean, isn't this basically the same job as what she was doing as press secretary? Just say stupid shit. They want to hear your stupid shit. Just give them, just say it. Say the stupid stuff. They want to hear it, and they think that you're pretty. They want to hear stupid shit from someone they think is pretty. That's what they want. And so there. Now she's in it. And the thing is, and this is going to be a theme that we're going to carry through to our next checkup with an absolute tool, is there's basically no distinction on the right between their media and their politicians. The lines have been so blurred at this point. So she was I guess a commentator, and then press secretary, and now she's going to be a host. And what, you think she can't run for the House? The only reason she wouldn't run for the House is because she would consider that to be a downgrade, honestly, from being on Fox News. Even though, remember, Trump spent fucking 2 years saying Fox News are traitors, they're not good enough. They love Kayleigh McEnany, and now she's going off to work at Fox, the place that are traitors and are not good enough. And so she can run for office at some point. She can run for Senate. They're saying Laura Trump is going to. Nobody even knows who the fuck she is or what she does or what her qualifications are supposed to be, except that they've seen her and her name is Trump. Well, they've seen way more of Kayleigh McEnany, and they know that Kayleigh McEnany was unfailingly loyal to Trump. So it's just all mixed up. Because it's not just that the jobs are being treated as they're similar. The way they are used by Republicans is that they are the same. Their legislators they're not going into rooms with experts and aides and hammering out the hard details of legislation. They're not meeting with their constituents to really figure out what's wrong and what needs. They're not doing any of that. They tweet. They occasionally give a speech with some stupid slogan on their face mask and say that cancel culture got them or whatever. Their senators pretend to care about Dr. Seuss. Their Congress people pretend to care about women's sports. It's the exact same thing as Fox News, except you'll get paid more at Fox News. And you don't have to run for re-election, which is probably kind of a bitch. You probably have to make a lot of phone calls. It's not like you're really working much. I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene is working, but eventually she's going to have to run for re-election. That's kind of annoying. So why not just be a host, honestly? So that's what she's doing. And honestly, this next one might even be a better example of it. Because I know a lot of you are all big fans of Matt Gaetz. Well, Matt Gaetz is apparently thinking about not only not running for re-election so that he can go into conservative media, he's thinking about fucking quitting Congress. Seriously, I'll give you the details in 1 sec. Let me make sure that I'm caught up on comments and everything, but good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for please hitting the like button. There's almost 1,700 of you. A little bit more than 1 in 4 have hit it. It's not bad, but I think we can get that number up. Peter Grudge says, John, I love it when Anna visits. Awesome. Say hi for me, please. I will, Peter. Thank you. Yes, there are 666,000 subscribers to the channel. I'd like to keep it there. Every subscriber comes with 1 drop of my blood. So it's a pretty good deal, I think. Fox is going to love it. Lando says, survived a car crash Friday night to watch Chauvin get put away, hopefully. Oh, geez. Sorry about that, Lando. That sounds rough. See. Zane says, then why does your show, The Damage Report, currently have 666K subscribers? The devil is real, John. Are you Dragon Daddy or Satan? Can I be Satan Daddy? Ugh, that's terrible. Anyway, so let's talk more about Matt Gaetz. It's the sentence most Americans hate more than any other. Brian, don't feel obligated to be a subscriber on either Twitch or on YouTube. You don't have to do any of that. I love that you're here and that you're watching. Thank you. Never feel obligated in any way to do anything. You don't have to, so this awesome shirt that I love, we sell this. You don't have to buy it. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to. You don't have to be a subscriber. You don't have to send a super chat, anything like that. Never feel in any way pressured or obligated. I know it's rough out there. So, Matt Gaetz, yes, apparently, according to 3 different sources that have talked to him, he is thinking about fucking leaving Congress to go work, and this is an important detail, for Newsmax. It's so sad. It's so sad. I like it. He can't even get Fox. And maybe he can. Maybe in the end he'll get on Fox News. But he's talking to Newsmax, man. Newsmax. They're basically a high school news show. That's what it is, effectively. Except the high school news kids have this sort of idealistic, idea of what journalism can be still. Newsmax has long ago lost that. Yeah, he's interested in becoming a media personality. He's also toyed with the idea of running for higher office. So, honestly, think about that. How empty of a human being, how devoid of any concern for your constituents, any interest in the national good, that you're like, well, I guess I could be a congressperson, or maybe I could host a shitty talk show, or maybe I should be president. Well, I think those are different things. I think that it means something to want to be a congressman, or a host, or the president. Pick a fucking lane, honestly. Yeah, I think I should have a call-in show where I talk about Dr. Seuss, or I should be the leader of the free world. One of those 2 things, haven't really decided, doesn't really matter, because I would treat them indistinguishably from each other. If you're his constituent, he doesn't give a fuck about you. He just won re-election. He ran, implying no, it must be me. None of these other Republicans in the primary, certainly not the Democrat. You have to have me. Oh, can I get a show? I'll leave. I'll leave right now. Fuck them. I don't give a fuck about any of these people. I will leave right now. Give me money. I have to give the audience credit because they were talking about Matt Gaetz long before I ever really started paying attention to him. It was you guys who pointed out to me how much of a tool he is, and he is proving to be one. A power tool, honestly, at this point. And look, it's not that I want him to be in Congress. I don't. He's the worst. And honestly, him being on Newsmax, I would have to see him far less than I do now, because presumably he won't be on Fox News very often. It's just so sad. If you're a right-winger, if you're a conservative, if you're a constituent of his or a potential audience member of his show, In either case, you should be so insulted by how little he cares about any of this. It is all just, let's see what happens. Maybe I'll get an audience. Maybe I'll get some money. He doesn't give a fuck about any of this. And honestly, he's a congressman that they love. Okay, so who's a congressperson that we love? Okay, I don't know. Maybe I like some of these. Can you fucking imagine if Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, her sources, talked to Axios that, yeah, she's thinking about getting a show on TYT. What the fuck? Why? Why would you be doing that? You're in Congress. You have actual power, influence. And sure, he's in the out party right now, but they say they can re-win a majority or whatever. In theory, they have that to look forward to. Imagine if AOC was going to leave Congress to get a fucking show at our network, how sad that would be. I mean, it would be awesome. I'd love it. Like, we'd be on power panels. It'd be the coolest thing ever. But that would be so sad. How little it would demonstrate that she cared about the actual ability to solve problems, her constituents, the different activist groups that have been working with her, her colleagues that she's been working on all of these different things with. It would prove that all of that was such a sham. And I know for Matt Gaetz, it's hardly a shocker that it's a sham, but they should be able to see it. The conservatives should be able to see it, how little that plastic-faced, cheap, like poor man's Beavis/Butthead actually is. Oh my God. When do I get my vial of your blood? Yeah, I'm gonna send it out. It's only to tier 3 members get some of my blood. Chakuseki says, waiting for Chauvin's defense to bring up Chewbacca, or possibly other Star Wars creatures, Rancors, Gamorreans, Twi'leks, or Watto. Sea Salt Chip says, is Matt Gaetz planning to reboot Beavis and Butthead Newsmax where he plays both? Exactly. They could just have 2 cameras, and he just turns to different cameras to have conversations with himself. Wait, who said that? 02 says, forklift driver, brain surgeon. I can't decide. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I like everything. And look, I get it. There are other hypothetical careers that I think about too. I get it. I'm not giving up a spot in Congress if I go do something else, though. That's all I'm saying. Okay. McQuackaduck says, hey, Satan Dragon, I mean Dragon Daddy, have you received my gift yet? Again, the ladder is already on its way. Can you give me a hint? Remember, if you send stuff, it goes to a place that Dave then has to bring back. So I don't believe that I have. I don't believe that I have, but thank you in advance. Feel free to give me a hint, and maybe I didn't see your name on it. Farron Cousins is Matt Gaetz' constituent. Well, then he's probably going to have a lot to say about that. Maybe he could run and take the spot. Chuptoad says, I just bought some new tools, so good on Newsmax for wanting a new tool in their box. I went with Craftsman, but okay. That's awesome. Yeah, I was actually just tweeting. I was in need of power tools. I purchased some too. They're far more useful than Matt Gaetz, though, it turns out. Even with other batteries in. How's it going, Adolf? Let's see. Yoda says, look, it's only fair. I give you a lot of grief about the photo you select for the YouTube video, so you should know over the past 2 days you've been killing it. Quizzical grump with a dash of fun. That's the caption for those pictures. Quizzical grump. That's not a bad name for a show, actually, the Quizzical grump. Rebecca Chevalier upgraded their membership to tier 2. Thank you for that. You now have access to those top 10 lists. I hope you enjoy it, and feel free to make a request. I would love to do some that you all want. Okay. Anna owns TYT, not Jank. Well, I don't think either of them own TYT, but DH says, let Matt Gaetz leave Congress early. Maybe you'll get a decent human in there. Also got my second Pfizer shot today. Dallas County Tex Peeps. Go to Fair Park. They gave about 600 shots in 7 minutes. God damn. Well, that's awesome. Congratulations. In terms of getting a decent human, they elected Matt Gaetz. I don't think that you're getting a decent human there. Zane says, woohoo, Dragon Daddy blood. Oh, God. Tone Stower says, Matt Gaetz looks like the head vampire from Lost Boys. He wishes. Adolf, I was saying hi to you. Okay, so here is the thing. I told you were to give you updates. How much time do I have? Okay, we have a little bit of time. I was getting, even though I always say it's going to be short, then it's always exactly the same length. So I told you we're going to give you updates on 3 terrible people. So we had Kayleigh McEnany. We had Matt Gaetz. But who is the ultimate terrible person? No, not Ted Cruz. We're going to get to him on the full show. It is Donald Trump. I have to do this update, but I didn't want to inflict it on Anna Kasparian, so we're doing it in the pre-show, and that is Donald Trump's response to Fauci and Birx. So yesterday on the show, we broke down some of the recent interviews from Deborah Birx and Anthony Fauci talking about the pandemic and all that. We're going to have another update on the pandemic today. And they were very critical of Donald Trump because he's the worst, and hundreds of thousands of people died. So anyway, now he is responding. Is this worthy of our sanity? I don't know. I don't know. And honestly, to that end, I didn't want to expose myself to it multiple times, so I haven't read most of this. So we are going to experience it together, you and I. You know the funny thing? Here's the funniest fucking thing. Thankfully, he hasn't been in the news much, so I haven't had to read things by him. So I don't even know if I have the accent anymore. It's been like a nice little break of a month, but this is a statement by Donald Trump, 45th President of the United States of America, or as I like to say, former President of the United States. How nice is that? So he takes issue with what Deborah Birx and Fauci have been saying, and oh my God, I did see one thing in it. It is so sad. Do you watch The Office? Do you know Scott's Tots? This, to me, is moving in the direction of Scott's Tots, where it's too uncomfortable to be born. But anyway, statement by Donald Trump, 45th President of the United States of America. Based on their interviews, I felt it was time to speak up about Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx, two self-promoters. He hates self-promoters. He's not a fan of that. He'd never make up a PR rep that's just him to call in and big him up. Trying to reinvent history to cover for their bad instincts and faulty recommendations, which I fortunately almost always overturned. They had bad policy decisions that would have left our country open to China and others. He didn't listen to them. They were wrong. They would have left us open. He overturned it, which is why COVID never got in. You stupid idiots. Go with the guy who knows what he's doing. Close to reopening our economy. Remember the second and third spikes? That was because we were reopening. Fun, isn't it? And years away from an approved vaccine, putting millions of lives at risk, it would have had absolutely no effect. Like, first of all, what they were saying, don't put money into some of the vaccines. The first one had nothing to do with him. It literally, he wasn't involved in that program and it got approved. But some of the others did get some money. What? They were saying don't? Anyway, we developed American vaccines by an American president in record time, 9 months, which is saving the entire world. There's a bunch of vaccines. The first one was made in fucking Germany. You asshole. Don't want to read that. Don't want to read that. Don't want to read that. Okay, so this is where it gets really sad. This is the part that I saw earlier. In a fake interview last night on CNN, Dr. Fauci, who said he was an athlete in college, but couldn't throw a baseball even close to home plate, it was a roller, tried to take credit for the vaccine. I'm going to stop there. We'll continue, but he's still talking about the baseball. You know, this came up with Brett like 2 Fridays ago. It hurts my heart. I hate Donald Trump more than anyone else in the world, I think. And more, I think, than anyone else in the world does. But, dude, stop. You gotta stop. It's too embarrassing. It's too embarrassing. Why are you doing this to yourself? I get that it is a thorn in his heart that they had him throw out the pitch instead of Trump. I get it. But you gotta hide it, man. You can't let everyone know. You're being too vulnerable. You're exposing yourself too much. I know that you don't know that you're doing that. You do not have the ability to self-analyze to the level to know that when you joke about it, you're not making Fauci look bad. You're revealing the deepest recesses of your black, crusty whatever's in there. And I don't want to see it. I don't. At first it was funny. Okay? Because you're a sad, pathetic little man, and I get to laugh at you, and that provides a little bit of schadenfreude after, all the devastation, the pandemic and all that, me personally losing a family member and everything. So that felt a little bit good. But it's too much. I'm enough of a fucking lib that I don't want to see a person just prostrate themselves in front of the nation over and over again. It was a roller. They didn't even let you throw a roller, you stupid, sad piece of shit. Yeah, he threw a roller, and they still like him more than you. You stupid idiot. Oh, God. I was the one to get it done, and even the fake news media knows and reports this. Oh, God. Dr. Fauci is also the king of flip-flops and moving the goalposts to make himself look as good as possible. Okay, look, if we want to talk about goalposts, do you remember, and you do remember, it was last year, the goalposts for how many deaths we could have and still have it be a massive victory? Do you remember when it's like, only 80,000? Yeah, look at us. Look at our pandemic response. Oh shit, it's going past that. 200,000? That's not so bad. They said it could be like 1 million. Soaring past 500,000. He threw a roller. Yeah, those goalposts are moving. I can't even see them from all the motion blur. Anyway, it's blah, 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 Wuhan la, blah, blah, blah. Dr. Birx, many of her recommendations were viewed as pseudoscience. You brought in Scott Atlas, man. You brought in Scott Atlas. And it would be bad enough if you were just at a medical conference and that was the guy that you picked out of the bunch. You picked him because you saw him on TV, you jackass. Blah, 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 blah. Huge man. Wait. Okay. Who can forget when Dr. Birx gave a huge mandate to the people of our nation to not travel and then travel a great distance to see her family on Thanksgiving, only to have them call the police and turn her in. She then, embarrassingly for her, resigned. I don't even know what the turning herself in thing is. Here's the thing. If Dr. Birx told people not to travel and then she traveled, does that reflect poorly on Dr. Birx? Yes, it does. Does that mean that she was wrong? No. She's better than you, Trump, on this because at least she told people not to travel. Sure, she then traveled, making her a hypocrite. You told people to travel, making you a fucking sociopath. And while I personally don't like hypocrites, and arguably spend more time fighting hypocrisy on this show than sociopathy, it's worse. It's worse to let people die, to not care that they die, that your followers are dying. I don't care how many trips you personally take to Mar-a-Lago in comparison to you being okay with hundreds of thousands of people needlessly dying. She can't hear very well. I only kept Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx on because they worked for the U.S. government so long. They're like a bad habit. That's the end of the presidential pronouncement. You kept Fauci on because he was the only person in your administration that anyone liked. That's why you kept him on, okay? And you were scared that if you fired him, it would reflect poorly on you and people would hate you. That's it. You were scared. You were scared. You're a scared little person. Oh my God. That is one of the most embarrassing things. Oh my God. Imagine if in high school, some girl that I liked who wasn't interested in me and dated someone else, if I put out press releases and I posted them on the bulletin board. Oh God, about one time that the guy who got the girl I wanted did something embarrassing. Years later, I do it. Oh God. His Twitter account was embarrassing, but it's because it's this official thing that it's just so much sadder. How can he not see it? And more importantly, how can there be nobody around him to save him from himself? How could you just let him? You work for him. There's got to be somebody with some affection for him. Run this shit past Melania. Or Ivanka. She seems to like you for some reason. She would definitely know that this is wrong. And I don't mean, when I say wrong, I don't mean untrue. Obviously it's untrue, but why would you do it? Anyway, the Progressive Carpenter said, "Hey John, wanted you to know that I held out all year from going to the gym because of you. Now that you've started going again, I feel like it's okay. The work you do makes a difference. Thank you." I appreciate that. I will say, still, me doing it is not necessarily mean that it's a good idea, either for me or for everyone. I feel confident because I track LA COVID cases literally every day, and so far they have not been going up, and my gym has very limited capacity. Like, they let 30 people into the entire gym. So I feel pretty safe about that. I mask up, I stay away from people, all of that. That said, I am opening myself up to a little bit more risk as a result of that. For you, I don't know what your state's capacity is or whatever. I don't know how much COVID there is in your area. So definitely watch for that. I'm not someone you base your medical decisions off. I'm not someone you should base any of your decisions off, honestly. That said, your name is a progressive carpenter, so I might have some woodworking questions for you in the near future. Anyway, see a comment from Lessa, who says, got my first dose of Moderna today. That's awesome. Really glad. I'm hoping that within a couple of weeks I'll be able to get one as well. Drakaina Dragon says, Maquackaduck is a 15-year-old teen, huge fan of yours. Sent you a gift. Think ladders. You have a huge effect on the young. Keep it up, Dragon Daddy. Well, that's awesome. Thank you. No, I have not gotten anything ladder related, but very excited to. Thank you. Just Freaking Ortega says, John, I'd be more than happy to send something to help frame that, but I don't know what stores, etc. are in your area. If you're talking about what you sent, no, it's going to be framed. Don't worry. We've got several things that were sent in. The thing is, I'm the only person here, and I would love to start putting stuff up, but I'll probably put myself in trouble. So I'm going to wait until the office manager is back in, and then we'll have a dedicated area. I feel like that's a lot safer. Karen Anderson, welcome to Tier 2 YouTube membership. Hope you enjoy those top 10 lists. Kelly Quilly says, John, thank you for teaching us all to be better progressives. You're valued love. Thank you. That's really nice of you. Well, if I'm able to do that, it's only because people did that for me, including, by the way, people here at TYT. Check it, Anna. You know, early on, there were other shows that I watched too outside of TYT. Maybe Debillion says, get on it, Dave. He is depriving you of one of the greatest gifts I've ever given. So great that I almost kept it for myself. Happy Tuesday, Dragon Squad. Oh, I can't wait. Come on, Dave. Come on, Dave. Do delivery. I think he does it once a week. Salvador Lopez says, OMG, I never get the notifications for this. Can you just do this on Twitch? I get all of my Twitch notifications. I mean, it's a YouTube thing, like it has been. That's the tradition. Also, I don't know if you can you do Twitch off of your phone? I know you can watch Twitch. Can you, like, broadcast off of it? Avatar says, Trump's cringe level is over 9,000. I know, it's just, oh God, it's just bad. And sorry about the notifications. YouTube is a clusterfuck lately, and it is devastating us, but I don't know what to do about it. The Dayman says, funniest John rant ever. I almost crashed my car. Everyone drive safely during the pre-show, please. But thank you, Dayman. I do appreciate that. Anyway, that's all the cringe that I've got for you, other than, I guess, the cringe I provide. And there'll be more of that on the show. But anyway, got to go get ready. Anna Kasparian is going to be joining us. How exciting is that? So definitely stick around. Gina and Mud Dog. Yes, you can, Mud Dog. Glad you got the vaccine, Gina. We're going to be coming up in just a little bit, so stay tuned either here on YouTube or you can head over to twitch.tv/TYT, and I'll see you then.